Very rarely do entity attachment invent a brand new way for you to suffer. Instead, they're pulling on your past experiences, either your traumas or your limiting beliefs or any number of things. So let's talk about this in this video. Always remember that entity attachments need you in order to stay attached to you. Kind of obvious, right? But what I'm talking about is they need a way to stay attached to you. If you are at a very high frequency, if everything is going fantastically in your life, and you've already removed all the stored emotions associated with your childhood traumas, and you don't have any other blockages or any other things going on, then they absolutely have nothing to attach to, and so you won't experience them. They need all of the problems that you've had in your entire life for them to be able to stay attached to you. They need those times where you were abused or traumatized. They need your limiting beliefs. They need your lower frequency emotions. They are limited in this way. And that's what gives us all the confidence that we can handle negative entity situations. Because we know that we are beings of light, and we are way more powerful than they can ever be. So what do they do to a being of light? They have to make you believe that you're not one. And so the best way that they can do that is to remind you of your childhood traumas, remind you or help foster lower vibrational emotional experiences. In the hundreds of people that I've interviewed to find out if they would be a good fit for my program, I have discovered a consistent theme. Whatever their childhood traumas or abuses are is represented in some way by the entity attachment. And it makes total sense. It's a perfect place for them to attach to and to keep those victims at that lower frequency. So if you had a sexual abuse situation, oftentimes they will reproduce that feeling in you. If you had a situation of intimidation by a parent, then they will take advantage of that and make sure that you feel intimidated. If you had a horrible emotional experience that falls outside of these descriptions, then they're going to try to affect you in that way. If you're exceptionally fearful or impatient or quick to anger, then they're going to do all the things that they can do to keep you in that emotional frequency. That's why it's so important that you work on yourself as a huge part of removing the negative entity. You can remove it or have somebody else remove it. And then in a certain amount of time, whether it be a week, a day, or an hour, or 10 minutes, the entity will return because you haven't addressed those things. So the first step is identifying the areas that need to be addressed. Almost everyone has some sort of childhood trauma, even if you had fantastic parental upbringing. Even if you were beloved by your classmates, even if you were beloved by your teachers, even if you were beloved by your extended family, it doesn't really matter. So it's so critical to go back into those times and remove the stored emotions associated with all those different events. This is very challenging to do, but there are lots of processes out there to do it, and it's certainly one of the things that I help people with. But on top of all of that, too, are the other ways that negative entities can keep you down. Limiting beliefs is a big one. If you don't believe you're good enough, if you don't believe that you're powerful enough, if you believe that they are way more powerful than you are, then they're going to take advantage of that, and they might even say things to convince you of that. They might say that this is inevitable, this is impossible, you will never get rid of me. And if they say it enough, you'll start to believe it. And then you empower them. You're giving your power away in that situation. That's never the case. Another big one that I don't talk about all that often is the victim mindset. If you have a victim mindset, if you believe that everything's kind of out to get you and that things don't go right in your world, and one of your major conversation points when you talk to other people is complaining about your life situation, then you are feeding directly into the entity's greedy little grasp, because that's all they want. They want you to believe that you are powerless to the world around you. They want you to believe that everything is going to go wrong, including their ability to stay attached to you. And then, of course, they're going to try to scare the crap out of you or elicit the low vibrational emotions as many as they can. They want you to be disappointed. They want you to be frustrated. They want you to be impatient. They want you to get angry. They want you to feel shame. They want you to feel fear. All of them, as many as possible. The more that they can make you feel, the more easy it is for them to stay attached. So just look at your life through the viewpoint of a negative entity attachment. If you were an attachment and you wanted to attach yourself to you, then what would be the best approach? Just think about your past. Think about your mental state. Think about your emotional state. What would you do against you to stay attached? When you look at it from that perspective, it might be easier. So now get out a piece of paper and write down all the things that you would do. Hey, if I were an entity, I would do this to me, and I would do that to me, and I would make sure I felt that way, and I make sure I feel this way, because these are all the ways that I'm going to stay attached. And when you get all done with that list, you might look at it and go, oh crap, that's exactly what's happening. That's exactly what I'm experiencing right now. So it's up to you. How do you want to approach this? It is probably to take that list that you just made and start working on these things. And feel free to reach out to me if you have any questions about different ways and processes that you can work on those things. Of course, I'm going to recommend that we have a conversation, because not everybody's a fit. But if you are, it's a very easy and a fantastic way to go, because you're guided throughout the entire process. Well, thank you so much for watching this video. I really do hope that you found it helpful. And I've made so many other videos. You can check those out, and I'll link some at the end here. Definitely subscribe to the channel, and you can get plenty of information about negative entity attachments, dealing with negative entity attachments, and one more thing, which I don't always talk about too. It's the stuff not related to negative entity attachments. You'll find that probably the majority of my videos are all about other things. They're all about raising your vibrational frequency. They're all about handling different experiences in your life, because all of these things are necessary for you to do to overcome attachments. Also, all the energy healing videos. There's so many different ones on many different topics, and I release a new one every week. So you definitely want to stay tuned in to all the wonderful things that I hope to do for you and that I've already done. So thank you so much. I love you unconditionally, and I'll see you in the next video.